Hey, tune into this week's weekly video fishing forecast. We have reports and events around the island, a digital issue, preview of the magazine that just came out on Monday. Sea bass season opens up soon. We have some rigs and the regulations for them, and we also have information on the Duke of Fluke Tournament coming up real soon.
The ultimate fishing authority in the Northeast, the Fisherman magazine.
Just catching. New Explore Series fish finders keep you locked on fish with unbeatable clarity, best-in-class imaging options, and a stunning ultra-bright HD screen. There's more to explore, only with Humminbird.
Today's date is June 19th, 2025. We're here at All Pro Tackle and Market in Lindenhurst, where you can sign up for the Duke of Fluke Tournament, which is coming up real soon. Also, keep in mind that you could sign up at Combs Bait and Tackle as well for the event. More details on that later. Now let's move into some news on the sea bass season coming up soon. So sea bass season opens up this upcoming Monday. The regulations stay the same as they were last year. That's 16.5 inches minimum size. It's 3 fish per angler from June 23rd to August 31st. Then it increases to 6 per angler from September 1st to December 31st. And here's a rig that I actually like to use for sea bass. Works great for them. Check it out. Now that sea bass season is here, I want to show you guys one of my favorite easy high-low rigs to tie with sea bass. Some of my favorite things to put on a high-low rig. So I'm going to go over the components that I have here first. I have some regular monofilament leader material. 30-pound test is perfect. 2 bait holder hooks, because this is going to be a bait rig. You can also put gulp on it or fish bites as well, but a piece of clam or squid is typically what I would use on a rig like this for sea bass. I have 2 of these rubber B2 squids. These are your teasers. I like to add a little red bead in there as well. And I have a barrel swivel, makes it easier to tie also. And of course you want a good pair of pliers so you can cut your monofilament to set your rig up. Let's get started. So to start off, you want to take your monofilament. I don't like to tie the sinker loop or the barrel swivel on first. I like to tie the dropper loops first, just so I can space everything out appropriately. I like to leave plenty of excess on the ends so I know exactly how long I want to make these rigs. So take some excess. You're going to use plenty of this monofilament here. We have plenty of it. It's cheap stuff. Well, first tie your first dropper loop. So you don't have to make them a certain size, but that'll do just about there. They don't have to be too specific. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that through. Use your mouth. That's 1. Want to place the other one about that far away. It's about 1.5 feet right there. Same thing, repeat the process. Make it about the size of a softball, your initial loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, same thing. Pull it through. Use your mouth. So now we got 2 equal size loops, about 1.5 feet apart right there. We're going to take this end, cut that. This end is going to go with your barrel swivel. You take your barrel swivel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass it through. No need to get crazy on these knots here. Pull it down real tight. If you want, you can trim off your excess. Again, the sea bass are not picky at all. Going down to the other end, you want your sinker to be about that far away right there. So right where my thumbs are pinched right there. I take that, just do an overhand loop, so we double the line over itself. Pass that through. That's your overhand loop for your sinker. Your sinkers are going this loop right here. You do want to trim this excess off. So you have this excess right here. That gets trimmed off. So now your rig is tied. That's your rig right there, but we're going to put the hardware on now. Starting off on the bottom. First, you start off with the bead. You want to work with the bead first. That gets put on. Next, you put your squid on. We'll pinch that together. That goes right through the body of the squid. You'll work that through. Pull all the way on. And finally, you want to put your bait holder hook on. I like to use about a 1/0 or a 2/0 bait holder hook right here. This is a 2/0. That's one end right there. Repeat the process once again. Red bead first. Then your B2 squid. Pull that all the way on. And then finally your bait holder hook. Pull everything back down. There you have it. CBS rig all tied up, sinker loop at the bottom, 2 B2 squids with bait holder hooks, and you have a barrel swivel at the end for easy tying on. That's how you tie a CBS rig.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Here's what you can expect in this week's digital edition of the Fisherman magazine. Starting off with our surf column, Jig Longevity by Dave Anderson. He teaches you how to improve and keep your jigs working for a longer period of time. On the offshore column, 5 common tuna fighting mistakes. Super important to know, especially if you are getting into the game. Inshore, sandwich baits for fluke. The fluke bite is heating up. Check out those sandwich baits for them. And we have our photo gallery. Those great photos that you guys send in every week are featured. All this and more in the latest issue of the Fisherman magazine. Now let's check in with the upcoming events from around the island. We got some this weekend for you. Let's get into it. Starting off, we have the Surf Rats Ball Catch and Release Striped Bass Tournament. That is going on right now until June 30th. Then the Buoy 35 tournament that we discussed last week got postponed due to the rain and wind last Saturday. It's going to be this Saturday. Captain's meeting is going to be on Friday. The tournament itself benefits DDI. The entry fee is $100 per boat. For more information, call 631-905-5636 on that one. Then also on June 21st is the Great Gun Mauritius Anglers Shark Tournament. Moving on to the 22nd, that's the Sunday, is the first annual Bay Rats and Buoys Striped Bass Invitational hosted by Gaige Simon. Then on June 28th through 29th is a Valley Stream Fishing Weekend. And on June 29th is the All-Pro Fishing Duke of Fluke Tournament and Fair. Here is Vince from All-Pro with all the details on how you can get involved.
Sunday, June 29th, the Duke of Fluke, the biggest fluke tournament on Long Island. We have over 100 people signed up now. I'm sure we're going to get another 100 coming up. Real excited. So basically, it's a fluke fishing tournament. You get your lines in about 5:30 in the morning. At 3 o'clock is the weigh-in. You're going to go down to the Amityville Beach Pavilion. You could drive up, you weigh in your fish, and that's when the party begins. We've got a live band, we got catered food, we got prizes. The Duke of Fluke is crazy. And the winner, yes, they'll wear the robe, the crown, the canyons, crazy stuff. Great tournament. I hope everybody who has a line and a hook joins. It's a great time. You're going to come down to the All-Pro Market and Tackle right here on the water. You can sign up. If it's more convenient, go to Combs Bait and Tackle, 74 Merrick Avenue in Amityville. He'll take care of you. You're going to get a windbreaker, you know, a tournament windbreaker. Very cool. You can get one of these sexy, fancy hats. Very cool. And all you got to do is sign up. It's a very reasonable tournament. Come on down. Let's talk about the details.
For all the details on these events and more, visit thefisherman.com/events. Jenie has a preview of her open boat episode this week that will premiere on Sunday. Jenie.
Stay tuned for this week's open boat where we're doing a rig tying how-to to give you a leg up on the Super Fluker Challenge.
Let's get the latest on the Dreamboat and Coastal Kayak Clash.
Now it's time for the Dreamboat update. Well, with the poor weather we've been having lately, the leaderboard stands the same as last week. In third place, we have Sean Brownyard with 9 points. In second place, Rashawn Williams with 10 points. And in first place, Thomas Luciano with 21 points. Are you the best angler in the Northeast? Well, now is your chance to prove it. The Fisherman's Dreamboat Contest is back. Win this Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha along with these other great prizes. Fish hard and weigh in as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. What's the catch? You must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine. All it takes is one fish on the board to win a great prize. So however you fish, you have a shot. For all the details and official rules, visit thefisherman.com.
It was a busy week in the CKC with 7 fish hitting the board. We saw the first hardtails of 2025 with a pair of Bonito, a 21 1/4 incher from Justin Oser, and a 22 incher from Tom Hood. We had a couple nice bottom fish come in as well, a 14 1/2 inch scup by Bob Lofgren, landing him in third for the category, and a 21 3/4 inch sea bass landed by Justin Oser, putting him in third place for the sea bass category. Dustin Stevens put up a third place bluefish of 31 inches, and we had 2 big stripers. Bob Wagner logged a 45 incher, and Mario Santos took the lead spot with a mammoth 48 1/2 incher. The current leaderboard looks like this. Tom Hood stands in third place with 4 points. David Dude drops to second place with 5 points, and Justin Oster is back on top with 8 total points.
Hey kayakers, the Fisherman's Coastal Kayak Clash contest is back. Win this fully outfitted Hobie Mirage Lynx kayak from Yak Attack along with other great prizes. Catch and release as many of these species to be top on the leaderboard. To enter, you must be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, fish from a kayak, and document your catch. Many chances to win great prizes, so get out there on the water now and fish hard. To be part of the action, you must be a subscriber and register at thefisherman.com.
And please remember to fill out those entry forms completely and follow all the rules to a T for the Dreamboat and the Coastal Kayak Clash. And with that being said, let's move on to our Around the Map segment, sponsored by Marine Mate in Lindenhurst. This week we have reports from all over the island, starting off in the West End. David Chacqui, he fished Gravesend Bay, had a 24-inch fluke. That was on a green gulp and spearing combo. He also said we caught 4 keepers over 20 inches as well. Sounds like a nice trip, David. John Bays, he was fishing on the Miss Lizzie. He weighed in this 4.7-pound fluke into Bay Park Fishing Station. Nice job, John. Then these 2 fluke were caught on the bottom of the tide west of Marine Parkway Bridge, that is in Jamaica Bay, right before Rockaway Inlet. They were both caught on that classic squid and double spearing on a high-low chicken rig. Picture is of Sal Casey. The one fish was 28 inches, just weighing in above 8 pounds, and the other one was 25 at 5 pounds. We're going to jump out to the east end of the island, starting out in Shinnecock Bay. Jamie sent in this picture of a nice 26-inch fluke from the skinny water. That's 8 feet. Caught it on a gulp. Now from Shinnecock Inlet last Friday, Sophia, she was hooking into some real nice bluefish, all caught on SP minnows. Nice fish, Sophia. Mr. C, he was fishing on the ebb tide. Caught a monster fluke, 13.08 pounds. That was over the weekend. The confirmed weight was taken at Montauk Marine Basin. Fluking is on fire in Montauk right now. All the boats that are fluking are getting in on them. Definitely a good time to get out there. Also moving on, a little east of that even, Alan Yee, he checks in again this week with a 9.2-pound fluke, caught on a chicken rig with a 6-inch Fire Tiger gulp grub. He was fishing the Nantucket Shoals. Also in Montauk, we're going to shoot back over to Montauk area. Mark Sadati, he checked in as well. He told me that him and Captain Savio Mizzi from Fish Hooker Charters had multiple fish over 50 pounds. Look at these fish right here. Look at the bellies on them. All caught on light tackle, bucktails, and jigs. We got a report from the North Shore as well this week. A huge 51-inch striped bass caught off Huntington. In the picture is Nicholas Weber and Captain Jimmy. They said they were trolling the Long Island Sound using the classic spoon lure when this giant striper hit. Nice job, guys. And if you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I'll try and get it into the weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine.
At the edge of Long Island, where the ocean meets tradition, Montauk Anglers Club can be your boat's home and your gateway to legendary fishing. Whether you're a pro or just casting your first line, this is where memories are made. Join Montauk Anglers Club, where the catch of the day is just the beginning. Or go to montaukanglersclub.com for more information.
Next up, we have Captain Timothy O'Rourke from all the way on Montauk. Tim.
Well, greetings everybody from Montauk. Another beautiful day out here. We've been dealing with a lot of fog this year, but it hasn't really affected the quality of the fishing. So the fluke fishing is definitely starting to turn around. We're starting to see more consistent keepers. The Ebb Tide and the Viking have both been doing some half-day fluke trips and been doing really well. The Ebb Tide's also been doing some monster striped bass evening trips. They've been doing well on that as well. The Viking has also been doing some offshore tile fishing trips that have been really productive. They've been coming up with some great tile fish over these trips. And then the striped bass fishing still remains really hot. The bluefish have really moved in thick, so it's kind of harder to get through the striped bass. And again, sea bass is going to open up here on Monday, so that's something encouraging. All right, until then, everybody, we will talk to you later and keep fishing.
From Sag Harbor, Will and Andy.
Thanks, Matt. Report this week out of Sag Harbor. Guys, the fishing hopefully will continue to get better and better, although the weather has been tough and weekend weather has been even tougher. We do have good striped bass fishing and some good bluefish action out east in Montauk. Plum Gut is getting really nice as well. We have some good fluke fishing locally and some better fluke fishing further out east as well. And when it comes to bottom fishing, whether it's porgies or weak fish, although not so big on the weak fish front, we have tons of weak fish locally around Sag Harbor in that area, as well as continued great porgy fishing. Thanks, Matt. Now back to you.
From Cal Harbor Bait and Tackle, we have Mark McCowan.
In all my years fishing, I have never experienced such a crescendo of striped bass fishing that we're having on the North Shore. Talking to a lot of people, it seems like this is the hot spot for the bass action. It's so consistent. They have been here for a solid 2 months. And on top of that, the fluke fishing really has been picking up. This is the second year in a row where we've seen an explosion of sand eels. And those sand eels have just brought the fluke into the sound. And the fishing's fantastic. Now, with regard to the sand eels, with all this wind we've had, a lot of them have gone deep, as we've mentioned before. And the larger schools of fluke have now moved into the triangle area for us locally. You're going to see them over by Center Island Reef as well. And if you're in the Stony Brook area, I would imagine that you would start seeing them out by Crane's Neck and in the 52 range. These fluke are just absolutely hungry, and they're stacked in. We're seeing great numbers coming in, up to 5-6 pounds. And that's dynamic, especially with 19-inch regulation. That's a big fluke, you know. Porgies has still been a bit tricky to find, I have to say. Been moving around. I see an awful lot of these really big party boats from the Connecticut area, as well as all the way in the Western Sound. And they're sitting right off our beaches. And they're really picking away at fish, it seems like. But I'll see the boats get up and move. So when I see that happening, so many boats rotating, it tells me the porgies aren't necessarily as strong as they were in the past. But we have bluefish. We have bluefish working their way into the bay. And you're going to see, like I mentioned, the bluefish can range anywhere between like 2 to 4 pounds, 6 to 10, and then your high teen fish. As far as the striped bass fishing is, it's really out of control. Off the beach can be tricky, but it's been a world of bass for the folks on the boat. These bass are just stacked up. They sit in 36 feet all the way down to like 110 feet, and they'll come up. Next Wednesday, we're going on the new moon, and that's I think that's like the 25th or the 26th of June, and that's absolutely dynamic fishing that whole week leading up to the new moon. So you want to be out there. We sell live spot at the shop. If you've never fished with live spot, it is a huge game changer. Not only do you catch really big fluke, but the bass just hit these things whole. This is like that size that when people used to love to live line like blackfish or porgies back in the day, and you can't anymore because of regulations. The spot makes a perfect substitute. They're super hardy. You get yourself a dozen, you go out fishing, they stay well alive. Whatever you have left over, you leave on a bucket next to your boat or put them in a tank like I do. And it's absolutely, you put them on a three-way and fish them like a live eel, the same style. Hit the bottom, crank up, leave it about a foot off and drip through. And it is lights out fishing. You also can fish live spot on an anchored up situation. And it's a great alternative because sometimes they're on the chunks, sometimes they're on the live bait. And the live bait is always like a game winner, especially if you're doing a tournament or something. And speaking of tournaments, my friend Captain Gaige, he's got his first annual striped bass tournament out of Huntington. And go follow his report. He's going to be on the Fisherman magazine video reports as well. And Sand City Charters, and check it out. Big prizes. Our buddy Matt is one of the sponsors, so it's going to be good. I want to see the turnout. I hope you all have a great time and a wonderful week. And as always, I bid you peace and tight lines.
Hey Matt, down here at All Pro, things are kind of quiet. The fishing has been kind of subtle. There's still a fluke bite, but for the most part, you got to work pretty hard. I mean, the rain is not helping us. The cold water temperatures aren't helping us. But there's still fish out there. I mean, I see everybody, including myself, working real hard to get on them. You do get a handful of shorts. I think the better bite is probably west of Fire Island and east of Fire Island. I'm talking about Reynolds Channel to Jamaica Bay, and I'm talking about like Cinema Riches out to the Hamptons. Maybe obviously out to Montauk. I'm sure there's a pretty good bite out there. Here, it's tough fishing. It's even tough to get to the outside with the weather conditions. So the fluke bite has been quiet. I am expecting it to pick up a bit because we're expecting some warmer and drier weather. So I'm looking forward to that. Big bluefish are around. They're taking live bait, they're taking clam, they're taking anything that you put out there. Fun on light gear, so if you want to have some fun, go out there, throw some poppers and stuff like that over the shoals. And in skinny water, light tackle, and have some fun with the blues. Now, I thought the stripers were gone. I ran a charter the other day. It was actually a fluke charter. I brought some spot with me, hoping that we could get maybe a doormat, a fatty, to like jump on a spot. Instead, we ran into a striper bite. Now, tough to go striped bass fishing, back here, Fire Island right now. They're not busting everywhere. I think they kind of moved on with their migration to the east and to the north. However, there's still bass around. We had a blast with them. I understand the blowfish are around. I haven't targeted them myself yet. But if I get a nice day next week, I might do it. It's one of my species one of those species that I really enjoy eating and have a fun time catching with friends and family. Something that I'll be doing. I don't hear much on the outside except some small sea bass and some average sized porgies. So I wouldn't really look to spend much time out there quite yet. We got to get that ocean water a little warmer to entice that bite and get that moving a bit. With that said, we got the Duke of Fluke in 2 weeks. And that's June 29th. It's a Sunday. Come on down, sign up. You get an absolutely great, let me see what we got here. I guess maybe even show you it's on here. Great windbreakers that we still have in stock that we're going to give to everybody who signs up. We also have these fancy hats up here. So come on down. If you can't make it to the All Pro shop, you can make it to Combs Bait and Tackle. He's also taking signups for the Duke of Fluke. Calling the kayakers, you know, we tried it last year, we couldn't fill it. I spoke at a couple of kayak group events this winter. I said I'd try it again. We need kayakers to sign up. I need 20 to make that category a go. Honestly, if we can't fill it this year, I don't see why I would put the effort in doing it again in the future. Also, this year, we opened up a division for professional six-pack charter fishermen. So now they compete against one another. So it's battle of the boats. So we're keeping the recreational fishermen competing against the recreational fishermen, and the pros competing against the pros. So get your charters together. Reach out to All Pro. Sign up. Let's make it happen. It'll be a fun event. We got 4 Shades of Grey playing live at the weigh-in, and live DJ, catered food from Luigi's of Lindenhurst. So a lot of good things going on. This is Vince, All Pro. Let's get fishing.
From Jones Beach Bait and Tackle and Captree Bait, Tackle and Fuel, Brendan Witigliano checks in, and you do want to listen to this report. He has a real good one for you.
Hey Matt, wow, what a great weekend. Not with the weather, but with fish and family. For the few people that have gone out in the last week or so with the wind and rain, they've been producing a great amount of fluke and weakfish. This weekend's weather is looking to finally be breaking the cycle and allowing everybody to get out and fish. As for Captree, to start us off, we got to talk about the 31-inch massive double-digit fluke caught at the OBI Pier by Rocco. We've had plenty of 4-pound fluke coming off the pier in the last week or so. Here's Paul with a photo of a respectable Father's Day 19-inch pier fluke. The weakfish run has not stopped at Fire Island Inlet either. There's also been some nice bass action around the inlet, with some anglers picking them off the piers or the beach and others going on the boat. Here's Mike with a nice bass from the bay. The fleet has been continuing to go after those Fire Island blues, which has been sticking around for a lot longer than usual. It's almost like the 80s or 90s where you used to go on the bluefish boats and come back with coolers full of meat. The fleet has also been targeting large fluke, striped bass, and weakfish depending on what boat and tide. For Jones Beach Bait and Tackle, most of our anglers have been keeping up with the blues with the occasional bass and plenty of dogfish to keep the kids interested. This weekend should be awesome weather. We cannot wait to see what you guys bring in, and don't forget to take a picture for our reports. You can also stop by the shop to see some sales that are going on this weekend. Back to you, Matt.
From River Bay Outfitters, Paul McCain has a fly and freshwater report for us.
Hello, Matt. This has been a crazy week weather-wise. We're coming off. Last week we had a full moon, that big orange moon. Pink moon. It was great, but it also really, when I went out fishing, the tides were ripping. But that's to be expected. I like to fish 2 or 3 days before or after a new moon or a full moon, just to let the tides simmer down. But the bad news was we've had a lot of wind, and we've also had a lot of rain. Now the rain, what it does is it gets into the creeks and then gets into the back bays, and it dirties them up a little bit. So it's been not a great week for fly fishing for salt, but not terribly. I mean, get out there when you can. Mostly I've been hearing, it's bluefish. It's not stripers. There are stripers around. Tom from the North Shore, he's still going out there and catching, nothing big, under 25 inches, but he's having a ball considering he's very new to fly fishing. So he's having a good time. As far as the freshwater scene goes, well, I guided this past Father's Day, and it was tough conditions, mainly because there are a lot of weeds in the water, a lot of weeds. I mean, every other cast, you were pulling up weeds. That's the bad news, but the good news is there's still plenty of water. Water was high, but clear. We did have a few fish. I think my group landed a total of 3 fish, but generally, it's been a slow week. That's the bad news. The good news is today, on the 19th, they're actually pulling weeds. They're actually having a group out there pulling weeds, and hopefully I'm going to see it. Now, give it a couple days to calm down, and they'll be stocking it, filling it up again with fish, and it should be good. As long as, don't pull too many weeds, guys. Leave some, because that's where all the food is, and they need some place to hide. I did talk to a couple people that did fish there, and if they were fishing right the slots between the weeds, there were fish, because they're hiding in the weeds. They're hiding at the bottom. But anyway, as far as I would just go warm water fishing myself. Do some pond fishing. The Lauren Fly Riders had a trip this past Friday, and they all had a good time. It was a nice day, not too windy, and of course it was bluegills, bass, and also it was sunnies. There was a lot of people got a lot of good time out there. That's a great club to join. Lauren Fly Riders, consider it. But we are in June, and the fishing's really happening. So until next week, tie lines, everybody.
Captain Gaige checks in from Huntington area. Don't forget to check out his tournament this upcoming weekend.
Thanks, Matt. What's up, everybody? Captain Gaige here reporting to you from Huntington Harbor, where I fish 7 days a week for SandCityCharter.com. Check out the website. And don't forget, this weekend is Bay Rats and Buoys' first annual Striped Bass Invitational going down right here on the North Shore of Long Island. Leaving out of Huntington, we got a shotgun start just north of the Huntington Lighthouse. You could register your boat over at StripedBassInvitational.com. We're having our captain's meeting at 10 a.m. Saturday, June 21st. Over at Whale's Tail in Northport. I did tell you that was going to be happening in Northport. It's going to be at Whale's Tail, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Register your boat now over at StripedBassInvitational.com. Guys, the fishing in my area has been insane, and it's getting even crazier. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we had charters that left at 6, 5:30, and 5 a.m., and every single one of them was on big fish within 35 minutes of leaving the dock, and it was absolute pandemonium out there. Fish jumping out of the water, the bait being chased everywhere, the videos and the pictures. It was just insane. So if you want to get out there and catch big fish, there's no better time than right now. There's also no better time to host a tournament for striped bass, because it seems like we're going to have our first weekend of summer weather here, and Sunday looks like we're going to have a great day out there. So if you guys want to register your boat and come join us, feel free to do so over at StripedBassInvitational.com. I got out there this morning, and I had Adam from the radio show with me, and man, he had never caught a striped bass. He got a 39, a 38, and a 36-inch, and I happened to land a giant 37-inch bluefish that had shoulders. This thing was a yellow-eyed demon gator blue. Anyway, the fish are here. You want to get out and catch them? Head over to SandCityCharter.com. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water. Back to you, Matt.
Nuno Decosta from Tyalurs Tackle checks in from the Rye area with a Western Sound report.
Hey guys, Nuno here from Tyalurs. Thanks for having us. Another week down, closer to summer here. Our spring run is on the verge of becoming our summer run here. The striped bass fishing still remains very, very hot. The guys live bait fishing have done excellent with the bunker. If you could get your hands on the spot, also excellent. We do carry live eels here if you're interested. As far as the trolling, that's still happening, but guys are tapering off as the bluefish show up, so it's time for the bunker spoons, the tube umbrellas, and the tubes. Also, the plenty of opportunity. Top water happened at times, and also the jigs lately. The regular diamond jigs and the flutter spoons are hot. Guys, we're at the peak of fishing right now. The striped bass fishing is red hot. As far as the fluke fishing and the porgy fishing goes, it's okay around here. As you go further to the east, you're going to get a lot more action and a lot more keepers and stuff. So, guys, also, on the chopping block is still striped bass. I hate to sound like a broken record player. They are proposing an 18% reduction. The fishing has been incredible. They will not stop. Don't wait to the comment period. Contact these organizations and fisheries management, including NOAA, now to make sure your voice are heard. The fishery, the biomass is incredible right now, yet they are looking for an 18% reduction. That is huge, guys. Let's start this fight now.
Raul Ortiz, the Urban Angler, checks in from the city area.
Hey guys, Raul Ortiz here, the Urban Angler, with my report. Well, fishing continues to be hot all around New York. On the Hudson River, we got fish from schoolie size, still up to 30-pound class, still being caught up there. And anywhere in the 5 boroughs, Long Island Sound, or along the South Shore beaches of Long Island, you can catch anything from schoolie size to 40-plus pounds. The boat guys, the surf casters, the chunkers, everybody's doing very well right now. And you can catch still bluefish and fluke. There's a lot of porgies around as well. But fishing is red hot right now, guys. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm going to say you probably still have a few more weeks of this. I did go out multiple times. My biggest fish probably around in the 20-pound class. I really haven't seen nothing bigger than that. But for many other surf casters or fishermen, they've been nice. We had a nice run of fish in the 40-pound class, maybe bigger than that. But a lot of people managed to get on these big fish. You had a lot of big fish being caught this week. It could have been during the moon phase, who knows, but these people are out there grinding and doing what they think because they know this is the time of the year where you can make it or break your personal best right now. Anyway, besides that, the Joe Bags waters continue to produce bites, SP minnows, super strike plugs, a variety of plastics and bucktails. There's many ways you can catch these guys. You can catch them in open water, or you can look for structure. And don't forget, there's still fish on the Sound along the North Shore. Besides that, on the chunk scene, bunker, eels, maybe some clam if you like, but the bunker and the eels will be the best bait of choice right now. And the time is now if you want to try to make or break your personal best, guys. Anyway, fishing is hot right now. Get out there, guys. Tight lines to all. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my buddy Scott, Nick, Raul, Steven, Gian. Thank you for your reports and pictures. I appreciate it. And everyone else, man, get out there. It's time to be out on the water. It'll be over right before you know it, guys. Tight lines. Back to you, Matt.
From the West End, we have Ryan, Charleston.
3, 2, 1. Thanks, Matt. Hey, guys. Ryan here with your Western Long Island Surf Fishing Report. Tail end of last week's moon brought some great fishing to the South Shore. Another good wave of quality stripers pushed in this week, and they've been responding well to a variety of top water and swimming plugs. Day tides seem to be producing more fish, but there are still plenty of bass being caught at night. The blues are still all over the beaches and bays hitting tins, minnow plugs, and top water. Most of them still coming in that cocktail size, but there are some gators still mixed in. Shout out to Scott Monahan on a pair of bruiser bass this week, and a big shout out to Brandon Cirillo and Billy Schnorrs on a couple of monster Long Island stripers entered in the Surf Rats Ball Tournament. I'm real excited for this new moon coming up next Wednesday, guys. I'm hoping that we're going to have a strong ending to a great spring run. Best of luck out there this week, tight lines, and I will catch you guys next week. Back to you, Matt.
From the Western Sound area, Captain Andre, Montgomery.
Thanks, Matt. Hey guys, once again in the Long Island Sound, reporting to you, Captain Andre. The fishing has gotten slow, but it's starting to pick up. As of this weekend, we're getting porgies that are close by Execution. We're picking some up by the ends of Johnny Reef, down by Deep Reef. Stepping Stone Lighthouse, we're getting some porgies. We're getting some fluke right now. You got to search for the fluke, but once you find a pocket of fluke, when you use that 7 rig, this is what you're going to come out with. And caught them on the 7 rig, with the 7 rig. The bluefish, Execution Lighthouse, the Stepping Stones, all the bluefish you want right now. The bluefish are beating the striped bass out right now, so you got to get there and get on them. Early morning is the best shot for it. And we're also getting some weak fish. So we're getting porgies, we're getting fluke, we're getting blues, we're getting bass, we're getting weak fish. They just turned on. I don't know if it was the last full moon that we had last week, but the fish are turning on right now in the Western Long Island Sound. Captain Andre, out. Back to you, Matt.
From Breezy Point, Captain Cal.
All right, welcome from Fishing Atlantic, reporting live this week's report here we are on Howard Beach, and we had to change it up because, you know, as the fish move out, we got to follow the fish, we got to follow the tides, and in Jamaica Bay, it's still on and popping with the striped bass and bluefish, but we're finding a lot of success at night. Shout out to the boys, just got back to the dock. Let's see what they're up to. How was tonight, guys? Let's check out the bucket. All right, let's see what's in the bucket. Oh, okay. Looks like we got some fillets for the table.
Cat food, baby.
All right, so looks like, you know, they're cleaning up some fresh catch from tonight. Midweek vibes. Looks like we got some slot striped bass still coming up, so the fishing is still good. If you're at the right time, at the right place, you can get yourself some food for the table, as well as fluke that is still strong and picking up in the bay as well as outside the bay. And we got some reports of weak fish increasing and picking up, so weak fish is getting better and better. And so is the porgies. We got some porgy sightings and confirmations, so we will be switching gears and targeting multiple species on our next runs. We could probably target around 5 species right now, and it's the summertime, so that's what you can expect in the Jamaica Bay, Breezy Point area. Over and out.
Don't forget, this video is available as a podcast on Google Music. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast along with our other content. There you have it, folks. That is your weekly video fishing forecast. As you can see, the fishing is getting really good. Fluke fishing is getting real hot along the whole North Shore. Montauk is on fire right now, that 13-pounder. There's some other big fluke out there as well. Ton of giant striped bass out there around the whole island, North Shore, South Shore, out in Montauk. A bunch of events going on as well this weekend. And the best thing, the best news of all that we have for you, it's going to be sunny, it's going to be warm, and it's going to be beautiful for fishing. We'll see you next week.